John, there's been a lot in the news lately about the vaping industry, something that everybody thought was going to be a huge growth area. And what we're seeing is some states are making certain flavors and varieties or whatever of vaping products illegal. On the flip side, we have the cannabis industry that is being legalized in a number of states around the country. Our clients and investors in general are asking, is this the next big thing? Is this going to be a growth industry that's going to carry on?
The irony is rich, Mark, that there has been a 50-year push to really eliminate people from trying to put things into their lungs, and the vaping industry came on with such fervor over the last 5 to 7 years. The simultaneously push of marijuana, and I think for the most part we're talking about the excitement over legalized marijuana or recreational marijuana, right, has been a bit of a cultural thing, in my opinion. And so this is all my opinion. I would view these stocks as overhyped. I would view the sector as overhyped. I believe that the true instances of medical applications for marijuana, CBD, which is the oil derived from the plant, is not cut out to cure as many things as it's claimed. I do believe I have company in that opinion as well, but from an investment standpoint, I'd be very cautious. I view these as largely story stocks. Story stocks are similar to the stories that surrounded how massive an industry the satellite radio business was going to be, or how massive an opportunity blockchain is going to be. There's some truth in it, but it gets overhyped, and there's too many players, and there's too much money, chasing an industry that is no one knows how it's going to develop. So when you look at this market, I would tell investors to be aware of a few things. Number one, short sellers are a big contributor to, and perhaps the biggest contributor to how these stocks trade. Short sellers profit when a stock goes down, and they're largely hedge funds, some individuals, but mostly hedge funds. So if there's a big move in a stock, doesn't necessarily mean that there's a fundamental development and that you're off to the races. It may be that someone covered their short for some unrelated reason. The other thing is, I've been informed by many people who couldn't be further removed from the financial business or financial universe how big an opportunity is. It's going to be a $50 billion industry, or it's going to be a $40 billion industry. Well, there have been some IPOs that came out this year, well-known names that are $50 billion companies. That's the market size of a single company on the S&P 500, let alone an entire industry. So if it's a $50 billion opportunity, good luck if there's 100 players. If there's 100 players in there. There is a huge glut of marijuana. I mean, there's no shortage of marijuana out there. You can look to recent stories about Oregon or Canada, which have both legalized marijuana for not only for medical purposes but for recreational use. They've got more weed than they know what to do with. So I would not have huge expectations that the beverage industry or maybe the big tobacco companies are going to come in and start snapping up these these smaller players at some massive premium. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them are taken under because their financials stink. Right. Why do their financials stink? They can't access capital markets right now. They can't access in the U.S. bank lending because it's still illegal on a federal level. So it is a bit of a phenomenon. I agree. There are ETFs out there that trade, that are contain cannabis industry stocks. maybe that's a way you might consider going with a very small amount of money. But my opinion, and there are many who disagree with me, I would look past the cannabis industry to more real opportunities.
Right. You think it's more hype than substance?
I do think it's more hype than substance. It's a real thing, but I would be very skeptical at this stage of having any kind of a positive.
Huge expectations.
Immediate returns.
John, thanks again for another informative discussion. As always, if anyone has any questions about any of these topics or others, please feel free to contact your advisor or contact John or myself directly. Thank you.
Thank you.